look at the size. Oh, there's two of them. What? Put it on. Go. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the shit. Do you know, I nearly introduced the fix then. Autopilot, Ray. I see your shiny face and I think, fix. And then I realised we didn't have Ryan and we didn't have Paul, but very nearly. But it isn't the fix, ladies and gentlemen. Oh no! It's deep inside the minds. Deep inside the minds. And of the brand new haircutted, but still COVID-19 locky downed, Raimonds Liepins in the mother fluffing house. Part 2. Check out the thumbnail. Yeah.
I have no idea which one you posted, but hey. I hope they somehow escape our chat, and somehow get leaked because I was dying.
I'll tell you what, we may look at it in the fix. We may look at, because I had a couple of messages after the first one, and some people sent me messages, personal messages, and said, "Is that really Ray?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's Ray." Is that really Ray? I mean, how offensive is that? Is that really Ray? Of course it's you. The man is a sexual Tyrannosaurus. An icon. A stud. He's on there. There he is.
The Rayest of the Ray.
Mate. Yeah. Ray as fuck. All I can say is, the abs. Oh. If I had that build, mate, I wouldn't be wearing a shirt, let me tell you. Wouldn't need a shirt. Middle of winter. I'd be out. Nipples would be a bit hard.
Long time ago.
When was that photo taken, Ray?
2018.
So we're going back.
I was hard on carnivore diet. I was really, really in shape. And I have gone back to that, but I will talk about that because I received so many questions, especially about that. So
about the diet thing.
Yeah, like what happened?
Well, I think you commented when we had Mindagus on, and he recommended that he was going to do a diet for me. But here's the thing around that is, do you feel like washed out? Do you feel drained when you just on the carnivore? How did you stay on it then?
No, I felt better than anywhere. It's like I was the best version of me. It's really hard because I like to get. I ate cake right before we started. This is here is cherry beer. That's the big problem. But when I was on carnivore diet, oh man, I felt super strong. I did I think 2 national records on bench press while I was on carnivore. That's fully like keto type of diet. So I did those 2. I did all my inflammation, all the pain went away. There was nothing. I felt really good. It was just left with that nerve damage that I had in my right arm, but felt super good. The problem is sustaining it. And the craving, as soon as something gets you out, it's very hard to get back in. I stayed for almost a year, I think. I was on keto for a year, then I went from keto to carnivore. And I lost so much weight and I added so much muscle that I thought I cannot add any more because I've been training for 15 years. So
and on what weight were you there, mate? Because you looked big but lean.
I was 76, I think. 77, 76, yeah. And I did carnivore in, I think, 2017, I think for Europeans. No, 2018. I'm sorry, 2018. That was 2018. So 2018, I did carnivore for Europeans, and I cut down to 70 kilos from where 80 something, and I cut down perfect.
Wow.
And I stayed there till the Worlds. And while I was on, I gained back the weight, 77, something like that, but I gained muscle, and I couldn't cut. And that was the only year when I couldn't get in my weight class, 70, and I have to go to 80 because 75 was full for Latvia. It was in Turkey, and I remember I'm like, it was not good. It was not good, but I love carnivore. I'm a high meat eater, and this is why I'm very happy that Fix got the sponsors.
Mate,
get some meat. Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you. It sounds to me like heaven on earth. I mean, I love meat's the thing. You know what I mean? I'd be.
Yeah.
You just pile up 3 kilos of steak, I'm golden.
Easy.
Don't need anything else.
We'll talk. We'll talk off camera. I will tell you all the details you need.
Mate. Sounds like. And here's 2 big questions relating to that. Number 1, did you have a modelling contract at the time?
No.
You did not have.
No.
What were you doing? Should have
No,
got that
my nose is too big.
Is that what it is?
My face. Yeah. So.
You could have done like underwear modelling, or just like ab modelling. Why not?
No, I was happy that I was that lean. I don't believe I ever was this. My body is. I've never been lean, so my priority was never to be good looking. My priority always was to lift bigger weights to beat everyone. That was my ultimate goal. So whenever someone's like, "How do I get a 6-pack?" I'm like, don't talk with me. I'm not right kind of person for you. So I surround myself with people who want to get stronger, who are not thinking about like how they look on the mirror. But when you look good, you look good.
Yeah, you're right, you do. Why not? Get it on there. I mean, look at Steve Rao. Mother fluffer doesn't own a shirt. Just didn't have a shirt. Everywhere you went, no shirt. Why not? You've got your wrist up. Get it out there. Yeah. Here's the thing though, mate. When you see you're surrounded by people who are strong, and obviously that's the case. But you look most notably, potentially, Giannis. Giannis is in pretty phenomenal physical shape. I mean, the man's ripped up, Yeah. Is he on a similar type of thing, or very different? Because I know he's an athlete, isn't he?
Nah, it really goes down to metabolic rate. Like Giannis eats pretty clean. I will say pretty clean because if he wants, he will eat cake and pizza and something like that. But most of the day, he eats very, very clean. Yeah. Like if you go with him for lunch or something, he will take some salad, some meat, something like that. Everything like right after the training, he got some nuts, he got some carrots, things like that. He's very, very on that, and he's like so. I had a period right now, about 2 months ago, where I said, like, my performance is going down. I said, like, right when the COVID was, when the lockdown was in full swing, I said, I felt invincible. And he said, like, I believe your diet has gone to shit. And I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. If I look back, I started eating more like things that I don't need. So I went a little back, more meat, less shit, And
at the time you were going to pull fraud? When you literally
I was very in shape. I was very in shape for that. I was like last 2 or 3 weeks I was full carnivore. I dropped down. I was about 84 kilos. You could some visible abs, but I went down from 90 and I felt really, really good. I really felt.
Yeah, I can't remember whether it was on your channel or may have even been on a very early fix. One of them, you said, I feel like I couldn't have lost that much against Froda, which is, that's a hell of a claim. Yeah. Froda's a beast. So you must have felt great.
I felt like there's a big difference how you feel. You can perform good, but if you feel like shit, it will drag you down. And I remember I felt really, really good. I felt confident because like the last 3 weeks or 2 weeks were discipline. You will eat this. Your body needs this. You will take this. You will do this. You will go to sleep here. And it's all discipline. Discipline gets that. Yeah. It gets in you. And me and Yad's talk, we're like, I'm close to 90, 88, 90 going right now. Going up and down, up and down. And I'm like, maybe I should cut down. And he's like, for what? He's like, for what? Just stay there, eat a little bit better, how you used to eat, and that's it. But, I think the bigger I have gotten, more people respect me because, like, I did a poll on the channel and you commented on that because I asked how old I am. And so the answer is 16 years has 28% of the votes from 700 people, and 26 has 33%, and 29 is for 30. That I am. I'm 30 years old. But leaner I get, younger I look. And I had I want to answer because some guys ask me questions like, has this been bothering you or something like that? I cannot even say how many times I have brought like team of my juniors, like 10 juniors. I brought them to competition, and they're like, say, so you're going to compete in juniors? And when we're signing up, because people think I'm the youngest one, I have so many times when someone comes in the gym and they're looking for a bearded guy, and they believe that's the coach. I have so many instances where I go to, we're going to do competition somewhere, and I go to Sports Center, and I go and I say, so we're from Arm Wrestling Federation, we're going to do competition. And they're like, okay, so who's going to be in charge when he's coming? And I'm like, I'm in charge. And they're looking at me because I look very, very young. And when I started the channel, everyone's like, yeah, why is this kid talking? Because I look so young.
You do have a baby face.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a bad, let's be honest, it's not a bad thing, mate. When you're in your 70s, you'll probably still look like you're 40 odd. Not a fucking bad thing, is it?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, some guys the other way. Imagine if you're Levan Saganashvili.
Yeah.
Levan looked like my dad when he was 9. Motherfucker looks old as shit. Because he's a giant, number one. And he's got that swarthy, you know, there was always that one kid at school, wasn't there? You know what I mean?
Yep, I know.
We had a kid called Paul Moss at my school. Mossy, if you're out there, son, hope you well. But Mossy was like, definitely was 11 when he was born. That motherfucker was absolutely ridiculous. You know, he had like a full face beard at 10. Yeah. You know, just definitely not aging like a normal human being. Yeah. And they're out there. And often, they're the really dark-haired guys. Like, they've got that swarthy, dark-haired look. I think if you're a little blonder, like you're obviously borderline, you know, blonde, mousy brown, you've got the baby face, plus the fact that you probably moisturised, Ray. I'm guessing. No? Because you don't moisturise? Come on, what are you kidding?
Hey, no.
Get out of there. There's a grooming regime. You know, definitely you.
I know.
Instagram Ryan Bowen.
No. Yeah, Ryan, you look like you don't look like on Instagram, man. What happened?
It's awesome. That's my favourite thing this year.
Yeah.
We got into lockdown and discovered filters. I'd piss my size laughing at that. I love it. It's absolutely awesome, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah.
So, let's get into some of these questions because I know you prepped a few and you've got a lot of response, which is great. So come on, let's. There he is. You wrecking your friggin' house?
Yeah.
Cat was definitely. I could hear it destroying stuff in the background there. You get it exploding stuff.
Yeah. So, like the question from the comments were, so why do I have such a good bench press? It was because of my knowledge or something, and I was built for that. I have huge shoulders and huge chest. The one thing that wasn't built for that was my arms. My arms are very lengthy, you know. So I have a really big wingspan. I haven't measured it, but I'm not typical. My arms are close to my knees, you know.
What about elbow to wrist?
Oh, my wrists are big. So my foot for European it's 45, 46. So for Europeans,
size 10 or something like that.
Either 10 or 10.5. No, there's nothing on my slippers. But yeah, I have huge feet and huge hands, and I'm 5'7".
So you actually 5'7", Ray?
5'7", yeah.
Because I had a guess at that the other day, and I said 5'9". I took a flying guess. Somebody actually asked me that. They said, "How tall's Ray?" And I said, "He's like 5'8", 5'9". So you're 5'7". Yeah, there it is. The old cattail hard on. It's a winner, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. So you're 5'7". Yeah. You weigh most of the time. What would you describe as walk round weight?
Most of my life, I have weighed 75 kilos. Now I weigh 88, 90. It really depends on me. So let's get this diet thing out. So my body, like Giannis always is impressed how much weight I can lose and gain in a day. So when I was cutting weight for competition, I have lost 8 kilos like it was nothing. My body holds so much water. This is why sometimes I look like you can take pictures of me Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I will look completely different on each of them, depending on what I have eaten. So, now I feel like I have something to do with gluten. So when I don't eat anything that has gluten, I don't bloat up. As soon as I eat something, I'm bloating up. As soon as I eat something salty together with gluten, I blow up super hard. I have had, I have gone to Lithuanian bench press competition. I went there. I weighed in 74 kilos. We did the competition. We do the competition finishes. We go to the store. I buy a case of beer. I buy I don't know, half a kilo of salted nuts and you know some sandwiches, something like that. I drink everything, so there's 20 bottles in that case. I drink about 18 of them. I get home. It's 3 in the morning in the night. I step on weight on my weights, and it's 83 kilos, 9 kilos, and I haven't been to toilet at all, and it's just stays there. I wake up in the morning, go to toilet, I come back, it's 79. So
you wake up 25-minute piss, and it's 79.
Yeah, it just keeps going up and down. So. For me, when something important is going on, competition, something like the diet is one of the most important things. So if I want to get in shape, or something, because I feel I'm all the time in shape. I can, with this weight, I can do muscle up, I can do hanging flag, I can deadlift 240 kilos, I can bench press close to 2. I can do everything with this. But I don't feel, when I have competition, if I need to get a little bit leaner. One of the most.
You're deadlifting 240 kilos now.
Yeah.
That's a great. I never deadlift anymore. I got pretty good at deadlifting. Well, I got very good at well, not say very good, but I have deadlifted 300 kilos, which is a good deadlift, at about 110 kilo body.
Yeah, that's what I want.
I give myself a hernia. I actually did. I gave myself a hernia. That's really bad. And then I didn't deadlift again for 20 years, effectively, 18 to 20 years. I found I know this sounds stupid, but I found my hips and everything were thickening out. I just felt like I was getting thicker. And at that time, I think I was training wrong. I was pursuit of being big and strong. And a lot of guys where I was at university at Loughborough were talking to me about deadlifting and squatting and benching, and it was all about just going as heavy as you possibly can, and I found that was sort of working against me in arm wrestling. I was going up in weight class. I ended up coming the other way and going down to sort of 75 kilos, 80 kilos, and ultimately 85 kilos. That was the way for me. But the last time I deadlifted, which was the end of 2018. I did a 250 kilo deadlift, and I nearly died. I spent about 4 months deadlifting, getting back up to that, and I could do 220, decent for a double, and I got to 250, and I nearly died. When I put the weight down, I was dizzy as hell. My nose bust. Not good. So I haven't done it again since. Never did it again since. And prior to that, I'd sort of stopped deadlifting. Never did it. And then for no apparent reason, we just started deadlifting. And we started initially doing rep deadlifting. Light weights. I started with 80 kilos and 100 kilos. And it's funny, you do put it on quick again, don't you? If you start doing it, you start making gains really quick.
Body remembers.
And so the weight started going up until I got to about 200 kilos, and then it didn't go up quickly at all. It was always hard,
Yeah.
But, interesting. So you're deadlifting basically, and I was about 104 kilos, 105 kilos at that time. So you're deadlifting pretty much as I could, and probably easier than I did.
Yeah, I have this hernia too since 2011, and it's been bothering me, but I slowly build it up. I started doing this, this year I started doing powerlifting stuff, and I got into powerlifting. I never done that because of my back. My back, Yeah, cat wants to be on camera. Yeah.
That's what that cat's doing. That's a destructive influence in your home. I hope you know, Owen.
So I want to get some decent form, you know, for powerlifting and then compete there as well. And yeah, I will get to that too. But yeah, so if you guys,
before you forget to say it, right? Before we forget to say it, because we were going to talk about this in the first episode and we didn't.
Okay.
What's your best bench press, Ray?
Best.
Let's go best bench press and body weight at that time, because this is some impressive shit. So talk to me about bench press. Because when you told me this, I was like, holy shit.
So my best was 80, like in competition 83 kilo class, I benched 185 kilos. In 93 kilo class, I have benched 192.5 kilos. In gym, like this year when there was no competition, I did 207.5 kilo bench press. And now I feel I can go a little bit higher, but it's like it comes. It doesn't come as fast as everyone wants it to come, you know. And it's
awesome.
Like, yeah, everyone asks me like, how do I bench press this and that? I'm like, I have spent so many years, close to 14 years bench pressing, guys. Like, what does it really? It's not that believable that I can do it. If you look how slow process it has been, slow. It's really, really slow. But now it doesn't matter, you know. I cannot if I don't train for year, month, like. When I injured my left arm this year, I did 207 kilos. 2 weeks later, injured my left arm. Didn't do bench press for 2 months. Come back, 180. Easy. You know, 180. I can do that.
I mean, that's a myth, because my best ever bench press, and I don't know my exact body weight, but it was between 85 and 93, somewhere there. My best ever, and this is weird actually, because my best single is also my best double. Get this. Yeah. My best single is also my best double, but I couldn't ever get to 200. So somebody needs to walk me through that, because I've done 185 kilos for single, 185 kilos for double, with the intention that I would do 200. Never did it. I had like 4 or 5 attempts at it when I was really, really chasing it hard, and failed. Every time, and it really pissed me off. Did the old, you know, go into the boards, did the whole thing.
Yeah.
Never got it. I've never benched 200, and it really pisses me off. That really does. And now when I bust my shoulder, I know I'm never going to do it.
My trick for that was, like, I was hunting for 200 for some time. Like long time, because I always felt that it's somewhere in reach, at least in the gym. You know, for a gym lift, it's in reach. So I stopped, like this year when COVID situation happened, when they gave me a red light to throw the match, everything. So I start doing that. And in my head, I'm like, I want to bench 220. I don't care about 200. And it just went over that. And it's always, we put these limits. Like, you know, 100 kilo for deadlift, it's easy. 200 should be hard. And then your body breaks down because your mind is telling that it's hard. And it's for everything. So I believe set your goals a little bit higher where you want them. A little bit higher. You know?
It's really strange how things work though, isn't it? Because I had, what my biggest, or my most impressive lift ever, I believe, was I could do, on just a lat drag, you know, a lat pulley machine.
Yeah.
And a static lat pulley machine. And we reinforced this thing. We call it the misery machine, because it used to make your fucking brain hurt after you'd done it. But I got so I could do 250 kilos for 5 repetitions. No straps, no nothing. Thick handle. And basically I'd just cup it, hold it in my, I put a lot of my arm wrestling strength down for that, if I'm honest. I used to cup it, hold it like that, and I could do 250 kilos for 5 reps. Which I didn't know anybody at my weight that I met that could do that. And when people saw me do that, they'd be like, me, that's really, really good. You know, and a lot of people came and tried it, and I didn't see anybody do it. Now, I'm not saying, you know, big, powerful lads, like I'm sure if Ed came up and trained with me, Ed would chuck it around. But that's dead, you know. If you've been a world's strongest man, you're world's strongest man. I'm talking about guys, and when I was doing that, I'm weighing 90 kilos. It's for me, that was by far my strongest plane of motion, by far. And it worked because my hand and wrist were very, very strong and very good back. And that never hurt me either. It never, no damage from it that I'm aware of, you know. But benching did used to hurt me. So I'm pretty sure I never got it right. You know, I've had people teach me things and show me stuff, and I'm pretty sure I've never got it right, so I'd be keen to learn it. But it fascinates me. I love bench. Like, I love Julius Maddox now, and the fact that Julius is doing what a monster, you know. Obviously Eric Spotto, arm wrestler and bench freak. And when I was overtraining with Eric in Vegas, with Ryan Constantino and Lenny Lockhart, we would talk a lot about that. And he said, yeah, I want to go for the bench world record. And it was like, okay. And the entire night we were talking about benching. That was it. It was like, arm wrestling, we're on the benching. And because it fascinates me. Because it's just a strong motion, isn't it? I love it. So when you first started telling me that you were into bench, and you told me your numbers, I was like, whoa, that's mega. You know. So how long have you been doing it? When and why? When did you get into bench?
Like my first year when I started training, 2006, like at the end of the year, I noticed I was stronger than most guys in the gym already. In the next 2 years, I was strongest guy in Latvia. So it just went up. It just went up. And going through systems and trying things and learning things and West Side barbell methods and things like that. And it's always was there. But like, everyone always says to me this, I have so many comments about this, like, yeah, Ray, just stop with arm wrestling, you're better bench presser. I know that. If I would invest all my time in arm wrestling, in bench press, I would be very good. I believe tested events, IPF events, you know, drug-free events, I would be one of the top guys. I'm 100% sure about that. With my work ethic, with how crazy I am, but I love arm wrestling. And it's like now my training, it's like yesterday someone asked me like how long did you train? It's 4 hours. 4 hours. Classic session for me, like I train 5 times a week, 4 hours, sometimes 5, because I do full powerlifting workout and then I continue with arm wrestling. And for me, it's completely normal. I know it's not good. And if I had super much with fraud, of course, I wouldn't be doing that part. I would leave it up to some point and then get it off and then just focus on one thing. But while there's nothing to focus on, I believe I really like challenge myself. I love all that. I love lifting. I love training. Like, if you come to Latvia, and you will like come to any training session when me and Giannis are in the gym, like Saturday morning, 10 o'clock, it's Giannis Club does their training session. Yeah. So we start at 10. At 12, it's me and Giannis left. At 12:40, it's me and Giannis left. Because we're always looking for something else. What else could we do? What else we didn't train? What else we need? And it's, for me, I really feel like that's my hobby. I really love training. I absolutely do. There's like, sometimes I go to sleep and I'm thinking what I'm going to do tomorrow. And I've been training for 14 years. And it's really, like I said, when I first walked in the gym and I fell in love, that's my first love. And I feel I still do it. Like, I love training. I know it's sometimes too much, but it's very hard to tell me when it's too much, when I'm very used to this kind of volume. Yeah. Like, normal people wouldn't be able to do the training session that I'm doing, because sometimes guys will come and train with me together. They will, okay, so we're doing, it's 2.5 hours in, and the guy's like, yeah, you know, hey Ray, we're like, and I'm like, I'm looking a lot. And he's like, yeah, okay. I said, okay, you can be free after the next exercise, you know. So I don't give these kind of advices for everyone, because if you have good system, follow system, train, relax, you have your social life. This is it for me. This is all for me, you know. It's like when I train, I have my best ideas for training. Sometimes I will just drive to the gym in the middle of night because I have some idea about
someone came in.
Like you can bring it down or something like that. Sometimes I will dream it. I have multiple times where I dreamed of something.
I've done that as well. That's sick, innit? I've done that.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with that. But I know it's when you try to do two sports at somewhat high level, it's very hard to be very successful at that. So, but I don't care. I love it. I love the process.
What's the bench world record at that weight class now? The weight class you would most likely compete. So let's say 85 kilo. What would you compete at? 80, 85?
83.
83.
I will look. Yeah.
And I've never competed in bench, so I don't know the sort of weight classes. So I know didn't Jan Germanis have a world record bench, like a 300 kilo bench at 90 kilos or thereabouts back in the day?
Maybe. You know, there's so many federations that it's it's very hard to understand. Like when someone says I'm a world champion, I said what federation? You know?
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm competing IPF. Like in arm wrestling, there's one federation that's recognized. That's WOF. You know.
Yeah, I always thought IPF was the big one for powerlifting.
Yeah, and that's IPF for powerlifting. IPF for powerlifting. Okay. Yeah, powerlifting records classic man. I find it. Yeah, I believe it's over 200. Back in the day, it was 205. I believe 220 maybe because guys are pushing the envelope all the time. It's but I feel it's in my realm, you know.
That's an incredible lift, though, isn't it? 220 kilo bench at an 83 kilo man. Jesus.
Yeah.
That's mega.
Yeah.
Have you had any negative connotations from the bench? Because the reason I stopped benching heavy was because I found that, number one, bench pressing does carry over to arm wrestling. I am convinced of that. I think there are definite positives to bench pressing that carry to arm wrestling. From a sort of here perspective and a just triangulated blocking perspective, I'm sure that your strength comes on in that area. For sure. But the downside of benching, I think it messes with the bones in your wrist. Personally, I believe.
For me, it's hard to bench without the straps. You know, for that reason, because your hands are used to this position and then they need to be taken out from that position. So, yeah, I always say, if you bench like me, there will be no carryover to our arm wrestling. If you bench close grip, much carryover. So for me, it's very wide. I'm taking very wide grip and arms are super pronated and I don't feel it has helped me with anything. The part where I do close grip bench presses, those have helped me tremendously, especially for my style because I go inside. I'm very triceps oriented. I'm very shoulder oriented, and never had shoulder issues. I believe that's a big part of that. Never had chest issues. Like Igor is big proponent that bench presses, it's not good for arm wrestling and you need to do these. Yes, you need to do these kind of exercises too, but this builds tendons and builds strength and everything else. And don't say it's bad. Just, I will say how I feel it's not the best variation. Only if you believe that you only want to do one exercise for your chest, bench press, no close grip. Yeah. Close grip would be where you get that all the tension from the tricep and pressing, and Todd Hutchings showed JM presses, and I've been doing them for now because I did them when I started powerlifting because they were in every program and they were in, and somehow you just forgot about them. You go away, and Hutchings reminded me. Great exercise. Highly recommend for everyone. It's a really good exercise. Really works on that tendon. And my elbows are getting better. So I feel, that's a great variation. There's a lot of exercises we can do to strengthen tendons and everything else. Lifting heavy helps. Being strong helps. Like I believe, Neil, like telling that, the fact that you were a world European champion and the numbers you were just lifting, for me, it's yes, exactly, like beast, that's what beast does, you don't lift small numbers, you go heavy. That's fine. That's
okay. We did big. What, as I say, to me, they were big lifts. I was often working with weight around the 200 to 220, 230 kilo. And it wasn't crazy. We did it week in, week out. We weren't doing or weren't concerned about getting injured. We were often working with that kind of figure. So particularly on the back, pulling motions, the pulley motions, the lat drag stuff, that was the kind of area, and in bench press, usually, as I say, around the sort of 120 to 160, 170 mark was like where we were operating within. When we were going for the really big lifts, if you got above 170, that was getting into the, shaking like a shitting dog to get the lift, And as I say, I never hit 200 on the bench, but I would have liked to get that milestone. It would have been, that would have been something for me. Anyway, never did it, so be it. But I came close.
Yeah, not many people come close. That's the big one, And plus, we're back to steroid part, we had a big comment on their last video. You saw that comment where a guy just like
No,
I didn't. No, I believe it was the last comment. He's like basically he's saying, yeah, I understand. It's very he said it was interesting to hear Ray stand on this because everyone knows, and then it's very ignorant from him to believe that. I said I don't believe what you believe. I believe that taking steroids is cheating. If there's competition that's tested competition, it says if you take steroids, this is cheating. It's just breaking the rules. If there's competition where it says you can take what you want. So if you come here, I have big problems with that. You're a cheater. If you go here, I really don't care because it's different rules. So the problem usually for me is we're not ignorant. We know guys are juicing up. We know guys are trying to get clean before competition. But the fact there is doping test, it helps us clean athletes. It really helps us. Even though they were using at some point and they break down, at least they are weaker than they were, Mm-hmm. So I believe I don't even have to believe. I know we have seen this. We know you can win. You can be world champion. You can achieve this. I know Giannis can win WL if he wants, and there's no doping test there yet. So he has won Zloty Tour too, and there's no doping test there. But I know guys who are using. You can see it really doesn't bother me. It's just for us.
None of those events though have ever been and may ever be free of people who use PEDs. The reality is that
I believe
if there's a testing program, it can benefit it. But I mean, look at this for a simple fact. Okay, simple fact. If you look at the World Arm Wrestling Federation Championships, a number of them, and I don't mean one, I mean a number of the guys that I took second place to have since gone on to be banned at least once, and in a couple of cases have a lifetime ban for steroid abuse. Okay? So, if you're someone like myself and you competed naturally, does that piss you off? Do you feel slightly aggrieved? Yeah, sure you do. You do feel a little bit aggrieved. I'm not really giving a fuck. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm going to stay awake at night worrying about that. Yeah. It's an arm wrestling competition. But if somebody's showing up at an event where you're winning a world title and medals, and they're coming in juiced up and you're not, is it a level playing field? No. Have you beaten those guys? Yes. Could you beat them on any given day? Yes. Some of those guys I did beat in previous years and after. Did I know they were still using? Yeah, absolutely. Do I think they're a bad guy and pissed off with them? Didn't go for a drink with them straight after the show? Absolutely not. Some of them are really good mates. They're great guys. I don't have an issue with the person. It's the principle. You pay your money, you take your chance. The way I saw it, for me, it's about how good am I. If I'm any good, we'll see. If I get my ass kicked, fair enough. I'm not really bothered. It was just to see how good I was. That's what arm wrestling about was for me. Some of my favourite arm wrestling matches, I didn't win. You know what I mean? Yeah. I liked the scrap. I liked the war, the match, you know. I've won some, I've lost some. But sometimes it used to make me, one of the biggest weapons I think you've got is when you come to the realisation that actually the match you won and the match you lost, that were both battles, there's not a great deal of difference in how much you enjoyed it. You could lose and enjoy it pretty much as the one you won if it was a great match, you know what I mean? And that's a weird realisation. It actually takes some time to get used to that, but when you really analyse it and look back, certainly for myself, that is definitely true. Matches that I didn't enjoy are the ones that either you drill a guy or you get beat quick. You know, if you get beat quick or you beat someone quick, it's kind of boring.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like, it's personal choice. I say, like, I don't take it because I have never wanted to win something that bad to be cheating. I have never, like, second part is like, everyone's like, this is always surprise to everyone. But here in Latvia, like, I don't have time to think about that. I don't have time to think about whatever, like, SARMs or steroids or something like that to use and how to get clean in time for competition. We have random testing. We had really small competition with 20 competitors out in the field, and doping control came and did 3 tests. We're like, where did this happen? Vlad and Sanders, Vlad's Destroyer and Latvian Wonder Sanders Shedis, they have done 6 doping tests this year. They have competed twice. So they're doing random testing at home. Vlad calls me, like, he sends me a message like, I had doping test at 6 a.m. this morning. Completely normal for us. So I always say, like, more doping tests better. Like, WAF Worlds look completely different before they started to do 40 up to 80 doping tests. Completely different. And I think you remember that. It was different. Now these guys are scared. Some are still too bold and they're like, don't care, and they will come and arm wrestle, but at least they are scared. At least they're dropping off at some time. You know, because it is an edge. But when you are as good as you are, as good as Giannis is, doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. It matters.
You know,
the higher weight class.
We spoke about it on a recent edition of The Fix, right? And if I had my time over again, this is an important thing. You can get strong enough to win. Strong enough that if you fire your ace, it drops a mother. You know what I mean? Yeah. You get, and some of the guys that were juicing back then, back in my day when everybody knew the guys that were juiced up. Yeah, they were strong, but often they were reliant on the strength, utterly reliant on the strength, you know. And that reliance on the strength means that if you expose something, they don't actually have anything else. And sometimes you'd actually bait them up like that. You'd bait them knowing that, okay, well, when I run into this guy later on in the competition, I'm going to take miles off him now and he won't recover because you go through your elastic limit. And a lot of the time, you were utilizing elasticity to beat the guy. The fact that you had something in the tank and they didn't, it meant that they would redline. And once they'd done it once, then you knew that their next opponent, or whoever they pull next, and there's a lot of strong guys in these classes. You know what I mean? A lot of very strong men. So once you get into a difficult situation, if you are just reliant on the power, the level at which that strength redline depletes is quite significant. So if you can stay clean through the rounds and you've got a great deal of options in your arsenal, you can achieve a great deal. And I think myself and Giannis Amelins are very similar in that respect. Yeah. That we could do the spectrum. Yeah. You know, we can pull in a hook, we're strong in a hook, we're strong in a top roll, variations on both. We can press if we have to, we're not going to go there, but can. Yeah, if you've got that full range, it gives you a lot of options, you know, a lot of options. And because we may have not been the strongest man in the class, I think it's fair to say that there's a reliance on technical nuance, technical prowess. That's where you really put in your time, you know. and that's pays enormous dividends. It really does, because it allows you to navigate through a class or through an opponent.
When a guy, but it's in every strength sport. When a clean guy who's super strong, like already like top level, gets on roids, he becomes invincible at some point. But usually it's the other way around. It's when you are nothing and you want to be something. That's when you take them. And it's always like, for me, it's like guys like you don't even know how to arm wrestle, and you believe like this thing will make you better, and so it's. I really don't believe
will.
This.
Will it make you stronger?
Yeah.
It will make you stronger. Will it make you achieve your potential? It's not. You can't see it. Yeah, it's Devon calling.
Yes.
You should have picked up. You should have answered. It will make you stronger, but it won't make you your peak. Your peak's somewhere out in the mist, and that's what you've got to understand. You know. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we're at 45 minutes of this first episode, and we want to bang out 2 today. So we're going to wrap this one up and move to part number 3 with Raimonds Liepins. Ladies and gents, if this is your first time to the Supernatural Strength channel, please like, share, subscribe, let everybody know, share the word, spread the peace, and say your thing, mate.
Stay strong and love arm wrestling.
Yeah. There it is, mother fluffers. Take it easy, peeps.